Back at the lab. It's a Wednesday afternoon in between the old Christmas and New Year's. That thing's back on that thing again. We've sussed it out, we think. Doing alright so far. I don't want to say that too loudly in front of the car because cars are horrible creatures at times. Couple of pulls so far. Good numbers. I'll talk to you about those later. I'm going to keep quiet on most things until this thing is back in the garage, done, and everything's happy, because I'm not wanting to curse ourselves at this point in time. We've had 2 cracks at this. This is the third. I'm going to tell you what was going on when I get home so that she doesn't get grumpy. Brand new sensors. I put brand new cam and crank angle sensors onto the car to make sure it wasn't those. We wouldn't have any problems with those. One of those sensors was faulty when I got here today, and we didn't have VVT working on bank 2. So that can happen. You can change things thinking you're making things better and introduce a problem, make things worse. So never mind, we've stolen that sensor from the ute. I'm not sure how I'm getting home without taking the car back to pieces again to take that out, which is a bit of a task. And we're carrying on. So far it seems to be good with a second handy in there. The original one that was in the car was working fine. I'll put that back in, take the faulty one back where it came from, and deal with that later on. So good so far. Let's hope it stays that way. I'm going to whisper so the car can't hear me talking about it. No, I'm not going to bother. Bit of a misfire on this run. We're just regapping the plugs right now. But as you can see, that is more torque than it has made before. Quite a lot more. It has moved it to the right and it's holding on to it longer. We backed out of it because it was misfiring a little bit, so we didn't run peak revs. And as you can see, basically by the time we're past 3,800 RPM, something like 3.5, whatever you want to argue about it, we're basically just making more power, more power, more power, more power. Quite a lot of power, quite good power. So kind of that's looking alright so far. We just got to hold the thing together and regap those plugs, get rid of all this squiggle, and then we'll be able to run it to slightly higher revs too, because this is only 7,000 here. We're only at 6,500 and still climbing, but basically 490 kilowatts. It's not showing it there. It was 486 or something like that. So we're looking good so far. Fingers crossed, everybody. Well, actually don't bother now because it'll be too late by the time you see this. It's done and dusted, but let's hope for the best. Right, so that wasn't the cleanest run, wasn't the best. Here's mixtures here. Basic guide for dummies, it's too far down here, too rich. So in the torque curve over here, you can see from that line to that line, it's probably not as good as it could be. That works out, that's basically from that line to that line, it's not as good as it could be. But there, sorry. So all this area here, too rich, and that results in less power / torque than what it could have. So the old Link G4x Extreme will get a fiddle and we'll have another go. say more. Yeah, nah. A little bit less, I think. That same day. So I'm at home now, and the car's it's not on the trailer out in the driveway. The car's still on dyno. Car's on dyno because pretty sure we just need a new set of spark plugs at this point. We've done those ones to death. They are actually really kind of the wrong heat range for what we're doing now, for the amount of power that we're running, which is good power, very good power, very, very good power. So basically tomorrow morning, we're back to the dyno with a new set of spark plugs. Hopefully that's all it needs, and we'll be away a couple of power pulls just to make sure it's all good, and we'll be done. Now, I did contemplate putting this video up for you right now, tonight, but the clock on the wall says it's all backwards and I can't read. It says later clock, and it's taken about an hour to get videos loaded up onto YouTube right now. So you wouldn't see it till quite late anyway. Our Australian friends, you'd be all happy and joyful. Our Kiwi friends probably more or less in bed, asleep, or having beers or something different. So tomorrow we'll carry on. New spark plugs in there. Fingers crossed, everybody. Yesterday's little hiccup, some faulty coil or perhaps a coil stalk. I think he just likes the sound. A little bit more boost by the looks of it. We want to try and catch that bit, stay up there. there. That's heat. We're happy. That's good. Alright. The silence is deafening. We're done. We're finished. That is tuned. We've got it all sussed. It's good. Numbers are just more, right? So it made more torque, made more power, and we moved both of them across to the right, which is exactly what I wanted to do, and I think I said we were going to do numerous times. I don't think there's any blood on the floor. I don't think the car's leaked, which is good. Everything's working exactly as it should do. So numbers on the machine here, what it used to do, blue line there, yeah, we did have a tiny advantage there, nowhere else. Red line there was doing now, so it's good. You go past whatever that line is, 4,000 RPM. Oh, that's at the axles, sorry. We need the screen where that says lots. This is like lots. So that's at the axles. That's at the engine. No, hubs. That powers at the hubs. Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night for obvious reasons. Quite an exciting time for me. So anything past 6,000 RPM is 500 kilowatts, all the way through to 7,500 RPM. It's there it is. There it is. Change all those numbers into the peak here is something like 780 Newton meters or something like that, and there's obviously two peaks. There's one there and it drops down a little bit and then it comes back up again. Stuff and things, harmonics, whatever, engine characteristics, the design of my inlet manifold perhaps, efficiencies and all that sort of carry on. So there we go, she's done. Now we haven't set up the flat shifting. We were looking at it and we considered the amount of time that we've spent on this little task, and we put that off until a later date. So Taupo probably will be just shifting it traditionally slash manually slash without a driving assistance type thing, flat shifting, you know. I still need to do a bit of a tidy up just in this corner here. Nice enough day outside. We're going to put that onto that, tie it down. I'm going to go home, have a couple of cold drinks. We'll finish this video for you. So there we have it. Back home. That's ready to go on the hoist, and just have a look and just make sure there's nothing going on that we don't know about underneath the car that could cause any problems. So we've got the panels all set aside, ready to go back on the car. I'm feeling a bit, yeah, it was a big day. I'm happy, stoked. It's made power I wanted it to make. It's done, like everything came into place eventually, came into line. Not without its little headaches and hurdles along the way, but that is the nature of the beast. That's cars. You do things a little bit outside of the box, so you come across things that are just weird. Nothing was broken with either the car or the dyno. We were having those weird surging things that we were dealing with on the dyno that basically took us about 2 days of our time chasing things on the car and make sure the car was right, which it was. Found a way around it, did that. It's good. Carry on. Just cars, dynos, things, weird stuff. Let's not dwell on that. At the point where, how many months have I been doing this now? 3 months, 4 months. A lot of time, effort, money, stress, stuff and things all going into a point where it's done now. This is probably a point where I'll catch a cold or something. It's usually what happens, eh? With human beings, you relax and then your system just goes, you're really going to relax now. You go sleepy bites. Bedtime. Anyway, so, babble. Happy. Thanks for watching, everyone. The next thing we're going to do is, like I say, we're going to put the car back together. Just panels underneath, make sure everything's good. Goes on trailer, goes down to Taupo, does a test day. Then we do the opening round for the season of NZ Superlap Series on 8th and 9th at Taupo. And I have to learn how to drive a car which has now got at least 60 kilowatts more than it used to have, which is quite a lot that it used to have. Now it's got quite a lot more. and it's at least 60 to 70 kgs lighter as well. It's going to be fun. Right, thanks for watching. Have a good night. If I don't talk to you before New Year's, enjoy that as well. Look after yourselves. Look out for everyone else when you're on the road, etc. Bloody sensible advice coming from Glenn. Right, cheers, bye.